The power of ignoring thoughts lies in the ability to disengage from unproductive or negative mental loops and carve out space for clarity, focus, and peace of mind. In a world filled with constant stimuli, our thoughts can sometimes become overwhelming, intrusive, or simply irrelevant. When we consciously choose not to engage with these thoughts, we create an inner environment that is more conducive to well-being and productivity. Here's an expanded exploration of the key benefits of ignoring thoughts. Reduces stress and anxiety. Our minds are often filled with worry, doubt, and fear. These thoughts can trigger physical responses, such as increased heart rate or tension, that contribute to stress and anxiety. However, by choosing not to give energy to these thoughts, you prevent them from spiraling into overwhelming emotions. When negative thoughts are ignored or allowed to pass without attachment, their power diminishes. Over time, this practice can significantly reduce chronic stress and anxiety, allowing you to regain emotional stability. By breaking the cycle of rumination, you stop reinforcing the idea that your thoughts control your emotions, ultimately leading to a greater sense of peace. Increases focus and productivity. In the modern world, we are bombarded by distractions, and our minds often jump from one thought to another. When you ignore irrelevant or distracting thoughts, you conserve mental energy and are better able to direct your focus toward meaningful tasks. Instead of being caught up in daydreaming, worrying, or rehashing past events, you can immerse yourself fully in the present moment. This ability to focus on the task at hand increases productivity because you're not mentally juggling multiple competing thoughts. It can also lead to more satisfying and fulfilling work, as you're engaged and focused, rather than fragmented in your thinking. Cultivates emotional balance. Thoughts have a direct influence on emotions, and the mind often creates patterns of thought that can trigger emotional responses. For example, a fleeting thought of failure can ignite feelings of inadequacy, or a worry about the future can induce anxiety. Ignoring or not engaging with these thoughts helps prevent overreaction. Emotional balance is maintained because you aren't emotionally hijacked by every thought that comes into your mind. By choosing which thoughts to engage with, you can cultivate a more stable emotional state. In turn, you'll be better equipped to handle challenges with composure, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. Empowers self-control. Selective attention is the practice of choosing which thoughts to focus on and which to ignore. This act of deliberate mental engagement strengthens self-control. The more you practice ignoring irrelevant or negative thoughts, the better you become at controlling your mental landscape. Instead of reacting impulsively to every thought, you learn to respond in a thoughtful, measured manner. This empowers you to make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals, rather than being led astray by fleeting emotions or knee-jerk reactions. Over time, this fosters greater self-discipline and a sense of autonomy over your mental and emotional life. Encourages mindfulness. Ignoring unwanted thoughts is a step toward mindfulness, a state of awareness in which you observe your thoughts without judgment or attachment. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to see thoughts as transient and separate from your identity. When you stop engaging with every passing thought, you cultivate an attitude of non-attachment. This perspective allows you to appreciate the present moment, without being weighed down by the past or anxious about the future. Mindfulness teaches you that thoughts come and go, and you don't have to act on them or allow them to dictate your experience. This can bring profound peace and a sense of freedom from the constant noise in your head. Techniques to practice ignoring thoughts. 1. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool to help you disengage from unproductive thoughts. In meditation, you focus on the breath, physical sensations, or a mantra, allowing thoughts to come and go without getting involved with them. The key is to observe the thoughts without judgment and then gently return your focus to your breath or point of attention. This practice gradually strengthens your ability to ignore distracting thoughts and stay centered in the present moment. 2. Thought labeling. Thought labeling involves identifying the nature of the thought, such as worry, fear, or judgment, and then detaching from it. When you label the thought, you can recognize it for what it is, just a thought, and not a truth. This simple act of labeling helps to create a sense of separation between you and your thoughts, making it easier to let go of them. Once labeled, you can redirect your attention to more meaningful pursuits or simply observe the thought without judgment. 3. Cognitive diffusion. Cognitive diffusion is a technique from acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, that teaches you to distance yourself from your thoughts. One of the most effective methods of cognitive diffusion is to imagine your thoughts as external objects, such as leaves floating down a stream or clouds drifting through the sky. When you visualize your thoughts in this way, you start to see them as temporary and not part of your core identity. This practice helps prevent you from becoming entangled in negative or intrusive thoughts. 4. Distraction. Engaging in an activity that fully occupies your attention can be an effective way to redirect your focus away from unwanted thoughts. Physical exercise, creative hobbies, or immersing yourself in a book or project can all serve as distractions. When your mind is fully absorbed in an activity, there is no room for distractions. Over time, you may find that you naturally turn to these activities when you notice your mind wandering or becoming overwhelmed. 5. Acceptance. Acceptance is about recognizing that it's completely normal to have unwanted or disruptive thoughts. Ignoring them does not mean resisting or trying to push them away. Instead, it means not giving them control. By accepting that thoughts are part of the human experience, you can coexist with them without allowing them to dominate your mental state. Acceptance allows you to acknowledge the thought and then move on without attachment. This approach prevents the struggle against unwanted thoughts, reducing their power and impact. By practicing these techniques consistently, you begin to harness the power of ignoring thoughts and cultivating a more peaceful, focused, and emotionally balanced state of mind. Over time, this practice becomes a natural part of how you navigate the world, bringing greater clarity and presence to every aspect of your life.